As an artist, I love the imagination of Dr. Seuss. He was brilliant. And one of my favorite stories and characters was the Grinch. I wanted to draw the newest version and then compare that with the original version that Dr. Seuss drew. So this is a newer version. Let's analyze his basic shapes. First of all, you can see that there is a heart shape right here. You can see that heart shape? He also has this little bump on top. You see the little sprouts, and then some very simple shoulders. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of like create the height of the head, just because I know we've got a little bit of that stuff up here, so the top of the head, and then here's kind of like the neck area, okay? So I know that's kind of where the sprouts are, top of the head, and then the neck area. So from here to here, we're about at 1/3 up. So 1, 2/3, and a third here. So if I were to do like a third here and a third here, this is where the cheeks would be. And so let's draw cheeks like a big heart shape. Now, if yours ends up being a little thinner than mine, that's okay. We're not trying to draw exactly the same. So now I've got a heart shape, and then I'm going to draw this little mound right on top of his head. It looks like it comes up just outside, not the very peak here, but just outside the top here, like this. So I'm gonna draw just a little mound that goes whoop, and kind of looks like a little flatter on this side, and it kind of comes up like that. Now I'm using a watercolor pencil, and it's a little bit soft so that it leaves plenty of pigment on the paper. But it's not so soft that it's really, really dark. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a center line. That center line goes just like this. So if that center line is kind of like over here. So even though the heart is symmetrical, the center line goes like this. So the between the eyes goes up here, and then it comes out, and then down. We'll draw that center line really, really lightly because we'll erase it later. That's the center line. On that center line is going to be his nose and between his eyes. So right here where the heart is, let's forget about that. Let's hurry and erase that so it doesn't distract us anymore. Because really we want this right here. It creates kind of a weird U shape. So I'm going to go from here, creates a U shape, and then back up like this. That's his brow. And then his eyes are going to be tucked under here, like this. Here's a lower lid, and here's the lower lid over here. His nose is right close to, so I'll just draw a little oval, like that. Let's finish these eyes. And he's looking over here deviously. Like that. He's got eyebrows. Then he's got this mass on his eyebrow, okay? So let's draw the mass first. Okay, like the thickness, the solidness of his brow first. Okay? That's the volume or the form of his brow. His eyebrow is just hair that sits on that mass. This kind of comes right off the bottom, and it kind of goes like a herringbone kind of thing. All right, this eyelid, the eye itself, the iris, the bottom of the eyelid. He's also got a little bit of eyelid here, the skin on the eyelid, and this you can barely see it, so I'm just gonna indicate it. He's got a big upper lip here. So I'm gonna draw about, it seems like a third of the way down is where this ends up. Let's watch how it comes along this edge and then back up, and it's outside of the eyes. So it's on the far side of the eye, so it kind of ends about like here, about the bottom of the nose there. So yeah, see how I'm measuring all these things? About the bottom of the nose, it's outside the eyes, outside the eyes like this. Now that I know where they kind of start and stop, now it's easier to just connect the dots. I draw really, really lightly at first, and I'm trying not to use my wrist, because using my wrist creates really wobbly lines. And as soon as I feel like my pencil's right on, I'll darken the line up. He has a lower lip here that kind of echoes the top lip. All right, at the bottom of the neck here, I'm gonna thicken his neck up a little bit. He's got his shoulders that, do his shoulders come out further than his head? Nope, they're narrower than his head. So about like right here and here. So I'll curve it out and then curve it down. Curve it out and down. Now I'm just drawing in the basic shape. Now it's obvious that the Grinch is furry. We'll add the fur a little bit later. Have you noticed he doesn't have any ears? Nope. No ears. I wonder how he hears anything. Okay, so we've got, oh, let's add the nostrils. A little nostril here, and a nostril here. Awesome. And let's draw his hair. Now the best way to do that is to draw just like one strand at a time, or one little clump at a time. So this one creates a little S curve, and then it falls off. It comes this way. Okay, and then we'll draw this one up here. And then we have one here, here, looks like a couple here, and then a little one there. And then we can add a little bit of thickness just by adding a little bit more lines, kind of like trying to trace those same lines. Each line becomes more of the fur. Now he's got these brows like this, and another one kind of like right up there. So one here and one here. What ends up what that looks like is hair that kind of comes down from the top, and we just follow that as if we're going to follow the volume of hair. Then we'll do the same thing here. That's really, really dark where his eyebrows are. So let's really darken those in. And now when I go around and clean up this edge, that's when I'm gonna draw the fur. And I just kind of slightly change angles of the fur, but I'm trying to keep it going along the surface. Now here's where it kind of flips up a little bit. It's the same thing over here. Let's kind of accentuate this cheek here. Here's this kind of like collar. And I'm gonna now darken this in really good. You can see that there's a shadow on this side of his eye that gets lighter. I'll darken the nostrils. Let's just kind of like draw on the fur all around. Just taking short strokes along the contour. So that's our Grinch. Now let's try drawing the Grinch the old school way, the way Dr. Seuss did it. In this old school original version that Dr. Seuss did, we can see the same heart shape. So we'll start with the heart shape and then add the head and the hat. So you can see it's a very, very fat heart shape. In this one, the top of the heart is here, which means the eyes are below the top of the heart. So about halfway from here to here to here is the eyes, top of the head, because the head would kind of go up like this, eyes, and then chin. And it looks like the width is just about as high as the top. So what I'll try to do is kind of draw a shape that is the same. Well, let's see, it's like 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So 1/3 here, top of the hat, and the bottom of the chin, I'll put right here. So top of the hat, bottom of the chin, top of the hat, bottom of the chin. So about 2/3 way down is his eyes. So about like right here. Doesn't that look weird? Yep. And then the top of his head will be about right here. Okay, so eyes, head, and chin. Okay. And about this height, use my pencil, is about the same as the width. So about right here, and about right here. So that is about, I measured it out, and that's pretty dang close. So now let's try it. So this will be the point of his chin. These will be the outside edges of his cheeks. So I'll just kind of loosely indicate his cheeks here. And they come up and they merge right here. So here, lightly draw in this shape. And it kind of comes up a little bit and out. Up a little bit and out. This one looks like I've drawn it up too much. It looks like it's a little bit flatter, so I'm gonna draw it a little bit flatter now. So flat, come up, and then come down. Right here is where his eyes meet. So let's draw his nose. It's gonna be kind of a little round nose with 2 wings on that nose. So it looks like, now that I put on those basic shapes, I can kind of draw in. I'm gonna draw in. Before I lock it down, let's make sure I got the proportions right. So here's his nose, here's the wings. Now his eyes are gonna be right, here's one eye. Oh, it needs to be bigger, huh? And then here's another eye. Okay. And then his eyebrows. His eyebrows kind of follow that same heart shape. So maybe his eyebrows are like this, right on the top of that heart shape. Yeah. And then his head comes out about like right here. Boink. And this one about right here. Yep. Boink. Comes up. So I'm drawing it, I'm trying to keep it really, really loose because I might be making some mistakes. So I'll draw a little bit of the eyelid here and the eyelid here. Okay. I'm just constantly measuring it now. I can see now that this eyebrow kind of comes up like this and this one comes up like this, which means our hat would probably follow along. See how much there is here? So that's the bottom of this hat and about right here. So I'm gonna create a simple line guide for me. And then this will come right here. Gonna come out. And I'll add these little details later. I'm just trying to get the basic shape in there. And then the top of the hat, look, it looks like I drew the top of the hat too low. So I'm gonna modify that a little bit. And then the head comes up like this, so the hat comes a little bit out. Head comes up like this, the hat comes out. And then this comes down slightly out of the head. So the head comes up like this. The hat is a little bit on the outside. So a little bit on the outside. And then there's this part. So I will draw the inside part first. It kind of comes over, down and around like a little S. Like that. It kind of ends right here. Up here. So it kind of ends right there. And then this one comes up, over, up and merges with that one. And this one comes up and whoop. And it has a little, let's erase this one before it gets distracting. There we go, I like that one better. Okay, so overall, I think my guy is a little bit too fat, too wide. So I'm going to just before I darken everything in, I'm gonna just bring things in just a little bit. Yep, so I'll erase this part. Erase a little bit of this part. Okay, that seems to be a little more to scale. Right, that's the right proportion. Okay. Now the lips are going to be easy. They start really close to the point of his chin here, starting right here. And they just follow these same heart shapes. Up and around. Now look at how it almost goes into the top of that eyelid. So that eyelid comes like this. Let's do the same thing on this side. It looks like it curls right about here. And we'll do an S curve down, lightly drawn. Now, one of the things that you'll notice about this is these lines are very, very thick, and we're using a very thin pencil. So it might be a really good idea for me to try to use this pencil and create the thickness of those lines. And I'll show you what I mean by that. This right here, instead of just one line, I'm gonna draw two thick lines. It's one shape. And I'll draw this. When I draw this one, I'll choose whether that's the top line or the bottom. I'm gonna choose that it's the bottom line, so I'll do the top line now. Do the same thing with this side. If you want to get really good at drawing lines like this, having more hand-eye control, I've got some free exercises that you can do from my website. I'm going to simplify that nose now that we got it in the right place. You can see it's a little bump here, and then the two wings. Bump, and the two wings. Now I'll add the thickness. And then you can see the top of the nose too. I'm just gonna do the outside of the nose. It's kind of this weird shape. All right. Now let's draw his eye here. And I'm gonna draw the thickness of that line as well, as if this were a brush stroke. That's what I'm thinking of it as. It could be a brush stroke. And if it were a brush stroke, what would it look like? Now it's time to draw the eyebrows. It's kind of flat at an angle on the bottom, and then it wings up like eyelashes almost. Ooh, yellow, creepy eyes. But starting to come together, isn't it? Starting to really look like the Grinch. So do the bottom here. And I'll do the top line here. This little S curve. Now draw the eye here. And the yellow, the iris right there. And along this side, I'll erase this guy here. I'm gonna draw the thick and thin of this one as well. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3. These are really thick. Same thing with this side. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's do these shapes. Think of them as little balls, okay? As little curves. So we know there's one here, and it doesn't matter if it's exactly like this. We're not trying to copy it. We're just trying to make it pretty close. But it comes up, and you can see a little bit of the hat on this side, but not down here below this. So it kind of comes up, over, and then around. So I'm gonna make sure that I accentuate this here. So I'm gonna just draw I know there's a big one here. Just make these little random shaped tufts. Don't make them all the same size. Make sure you make them random shaped. Because if you make them all the same shape, they don't look very good. So big, some little. And now I'm going to draw the insides. Same thing with this hat. The hat's got a really thick line as well. Now that's drawn out, it's time to just ink it in, like this. That was fast. Now that the Grinch is outlined, you can color it in with your favorite coloring tools. I used a little bit of Christmas magic and Photoshop. I hope you had fun drawing with me. If you'd like to improve your drawing skills, download my free exercises at sketchy.com. Also, please subscribe and tap the bell so you can be alerted to all of my new drawings. Merry Christmas, and see you later.